Hello, welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Abale. Coming up this afternoon. The new Patamanga Bailey Bridge in Neno opens. Malawi banks on the surge of certified local products for international trade confidence, and tobacco authorities continue engaging buyers to address concerns of high rejection rate of the green gold. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. The new Patamanga Bailey Bridge in Neno has been officially opened. Speaking when commissioning the bridge, Minister of Transport Japi Muhango gave assurance of government's intent of ensuring good road connectivity across the country. Kumbugani Piri has a report.
The Minister of Transport Japi Muhango started by inspecting the reconstructed bridge, which was destroyed in 2019 by Cyclone Idai. He was visibly impressed with the engineering masterpiece. Muhango said the construction of the bridge will facilitate the movement of people and goods, as well as aid in the soon-to-be constructed Patamanga hydropower plant.
A very important, occasion for us as a government, as a ministry, that today we've been able to commission in Patamanga Bridge. This is a better bridge that government has constructed for two purposes. One is to provide connectivity to our people here that have suffered for the last 6 years. For them to move from here to Blantyre and vice versa has been very difficult, very challenging. As such, it's been very costly for them to move both people as well as goods. Government will be building a new power generation dam here, just behind here. You should be mindful that as a country, currently we're generating far below what the country requires in terms of energy needs. So government has decided that it is now time for us to have another dam that would provide over 300 megawatts of electricity into the grid. That is going to deal with the persistent blackouts that we are experiencing as a country. So this is the second, reason why this bridge is very important, because we would not have, we can't put up a dam here without this connection. Very, very vital.
So the bridge has been constructed by the Malawi Defense Force, MDF, who are experts in the construction of Bailey bridges. And commanding officer for the Engineers Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Sikelo, said they managed to do the installation of the Bailey Bridge within 21 days, surpassing the stipulated 3 months deadline.
This bridge has been a wonderful experience to me and my personnel, in that we had the metal parts from EDF, Electricité de France, who are contracted by the World Bank to construct a dam here. So they gave us new parts, which made the experience very wonderful, because the work was not that difficult for us to accomplish. It was challenging, but we did it earlier than anticipated. The bridge itself took 21 days, but the whole project with the road took less than 2 months, although it was supposed to take 3 months.
On her part, Director of Maintenance at the Roads Authority, Engineer Flora Hawia, said government had started the maintenance works, but the project stalled due to lack of funding. She has since held the assistance from the Patamanga hydropower project, which enabled the construction of the bridge to be completed.
We mobilized ourselves to start constructing the bridge, but the challenge that we had was that we could not source enough belly parts to relaunch the bridge. So we just started with the preparatory works, and then in the course of the works, the Patamanga Hydro Project promised to procure the belly parts for us using the MDF. Suffice to say that we used the MDF to launch the bridge because of the expertise that they have for launching belly bridges. Thank you.
It's been 6 years since the Patamanga Bridge was destroyed by fierce waters. Now today we're seeing the commissioning of the new Patamanga Bridge, a masterpiece that has been constructed by the MDF. I must mention two important things that are going to take place with this bridge. First of all, it will facilitate movement of people and goods between Neno and Blantyre districts. But secondly, there's a construction of the Patamanga power plant, which will be taking off very soon, right beside me. This bridge will facilitate the movement of construction goods for that project. I must mention also, there's a lot of euphoria from people around this area who've been anticipating for the construction of this bridge, because it was very difficult for them to move themselves and their goods. Reporting for MBC News in Neno, I'm Kumbukani Piri.
In another development, Bagili Muluzi International Airport will be undergoing rehabilitation with plans to build a perimeter fence and expanding the runway. Speaking in Blantyre after visiting the airport, Minister of Transport and Public Works, Japi Muhango, said the renovation is part of government's plans to refurbish airports in the country. We have a report by Geoffrey Jinawa.
According to Muhango, such developments will elevate the status of the airport to international standards and in turn boost business. The minister said the Democratic Progressive Party DPP-led administration will continue implementing several developments in transport industry ranging from the rail, marine, air and road.
So, yes, some works have been done, but we still have a long way to go. What is this long way to go? One, our firefighting engines have got problems, so there's only one that is currently up and running. That is a problem that we need to address. Secondly, that the airport is not secure. We don't have a perimeter fence. That exposes the airport to vandalism and other illegal things happening around. Obviously, the runway is also not as wide as we would probably have expected. So there will be need for us to expand the runway so that it conforms to the required standards. We are informed that for a runway to be standard, it must be 45 meters wide. Ours is about 30, so there's need to expand it. Meaning that if it means at 30, it cannot attract much bigger crafts landing in this country. So these are some of the things that we need to address going forward. I'm happy that the ADL has done a number of things to facelift the airport. We have got now brand new scanners that have been installed at this facility, among other several improvements that the airport has currently been that has got undertaken at this particular facility. That means even something bigger than a 737 should be able to land comfortably and navigate. So yes, some work's done, but we need to do much more to take this airport to an international airport worth its name.
The Airport Development Limited, ADL, has already refurbished the VIP lounge at Bakili Muluzi International Airport in Blantyre as part of their ongoing upgrading works. Geoffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Blantyre.
A women's executive leadership program has been launched in Lilongwe. Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Mary Navicha, has described the launch of the program by the Malawi School of Government as a strategic intervention aimed at addressing gaps that women in leadership positions face. She says her ministry will ensure that women in the civil service are empowered and fully capacitated to perform effectively and thrive. Beatrice Mape reports.
The program, which targets mid-career and top female leaders in government institutions, seeks to strengthen their leadership capacity, build strategic decision-making skills, and create a strong pipeline of women aspiring to hold high positions in public service. According to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Disability Welfare, despite progress made, women remain underrepresented and continue to face systematic challenges that affect their output. Speaking during the launch, Minister of Gender Mary Navicha said there is need to bridge the leadership gap by ensuring women in top positions are equipped with skills and capacity to respond to challenges they face in governance spaces. Navicha said the program provides a powerful platform that will impart relevant skills and knowledge critical in strengthening public institutions and advancing the country's development agenda.
Women that have gathered here are not just women, they are leaders. leaders that sits on the decision-making tables, leaders that makes decisions, tough decisions in government, leaders that promotes government policies, ensuring that government is addressing the issues that are affecting Malawians. So I'm happy as Minister of Gender to see these women learning and being equipped with more skills.
On his part, Director General of the Malawi School of Government, Professor Louis Dzimbiri, said the aim is to strengthen female leaders and ensure they are making clear strategic decisions that are results-driven and performance-oriented.
We really need to ask ourselves, is it a matter of just filling positions and sitting on an office, or is it about results? So that part was neglected. And that's why there has been an attempt to have this program to strengthen these leaders, the few we have, to ensure that they are strategically making decisions.
On her part, United Nations Development Programme Country Representative Fenella Frost said the program is key to expanding women's leadership capacity, adding that there is need to move beyond increasing numbers and ensure women are fully equipped to thrive. Christina Simbi is the program analyst for governance at UNDP.
The end goal is to ensure that at the end of the day, we have a well-performing public service. We are particularly interested to ensure that we strengthen the capacities even in the decentralized levels, because these are the closest points of service delivery to the people.
UNDP has committed $40 million to support the program. Beatrice Mwape, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Malawi is banking on the surge of certified local products for international trade confidence. The Ministry of Industrialization, Business and Trade has described an increase in the local products as certified as a step towards building competitiveness for international trade. Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Whiskers Nkombezi, said this when the Malawi Bureau of Standards awarded quality assurance certificates to local companies. Details in this report.
The awarding of the quality assurance certificates is an ongoing exercise the Malawi Bureau of Standards conducts to enforce standards, build consumer confidence, but also enhance product competitiveness. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Industrialization, Business and Trade, Whiskers Nkombezi, believes this is a gateway to promoting Malawi's participation in international trade.
When you have products that are certified, you know that they will be on the supermarket shelf. They can also break into international markets. So that means we are increasing our range of products that we can both trade domestically and we can also export.
And Malawi Bureau of Standards Director General Simon Mandala observes that an increase in the number of newly certified companies is a step in the right direction. Mandala has also pledged to continue building the Bureau's capacity to ensure Malawian quality standards are recognized globally.
I'll give the example of the $1 million equipment that we bought. It's an equipment that, first of all, there was a need because some consignment of some products like sesame was returned to the country, and yet that is a high value crop that Malawi has been sending to Japan. And we thought it was necessary to invest in this, and therefore it's not only dealing with sesame, we are also dealing with the other value chains.
Among the 750 companies that have been certified, nearly a quarter, which is approximately 150 companies, are small and medium enterprises. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Eveles Chingambe. A reminder of our top stories. The new Patamanga Bailey Bridge in Neno opens. Malawi banks on the surge of certified local products for international trade confidence. And tobacco authorities continue engaging buyers to address concerns of high rejection rate of the green gold. Welcome back. tobacco authorities are continuing engaging buyers to address concerns of high rejection rate of the green gold. A visit to Kanengo auction floors in Lilongwe established that out of 107 bales of tobacco presented for sale, only 3 were sold while 104 were rejected. Isaac Jali reports.
Second week into the tobacco marketing season, Malawi has realized $4.8 million, much less than the $9.4 million which the country generated during the same period last year. On Monday, the highest price offered was $3.10 per kilogram, while the minimum price was $1.20 per kilogram. And farmers were visibly not amused with the prices and the increasing rejection rate. One farmer from Dowa district, George Betenia, singled out JTI as the only buying company which is offering fair prices among all the 8 buying companies and called on authorities to intervene.
At least JTI is offering fair prices. It understands the challenges we face, including the production cost of tobacco. So we urge authorities to help us realize better prices than what we are fetching now.
Commenting on the market performance, Tobacco Commission Public Relations Officer Teleforas Chigwenembe attributed the challenge to oversupply, which has also dampened the prices and pushed the rejection rate to between 96 to 100%, as most buying companies still have huge carryover stocks from last year. However, Chigwenembe said the situation may improve if more buying companies join the market.
This year's tobacco marketing season is going on very well. When we look at the fact that daily trading is going on smoothly without a lot of hitches. However, we are very much concerned that most of the auction tobacco is not being bought, is being rejected. We are talking of daily rates of maybe 98%. For example, today, here in Lilongwe, 97% of auction tobacco hasn't been bought. When we made the tobacco buying companies, one thing came out so prominently that most of them bought more tobacco last year, more tobacco than they needed. So they have carryover stocks. Now they are afraid that if they buy more this year, then they will have stocks that they cannot sell to their customers. So what we're looking at is the possibility of getting more buyers, getting more buying companies, so that most of the auction tobacco is bought.
Meanwhile, global tobacco production has exceeded demand, and Malawi is no exception, having produced 197 million kilograms against a demand of 170 million kilograms of tobacco. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
Petroleum Importers Limited (PIL) has urged transporters and fuel tanker drivers to prioritize safety above speed in order to prevent loss of lives and property. PIL General Manager Martin Nsemoko made the appeal during activities to mark World Day for Safety and Health at Work in Blantyre. Now, our reporter George Panda actually joined the commemorations. Welcome, George.
Thank you.
So now tell us more about the day. We understand that you attended the commemorations.
Well, the day, yesterday actually Malawi joined the rest of the world in commemorating the World Safety Day. This day was set aside by the International Labour Organization, ILO, with an aim to ensure that the workplace environment is conducive both in terms of safety and mental health. And the commemorations marking the day took place yesterday at Ngumbi in Blantyre, where the General Manager for Petroleum International Limited, Mr. Martin Nsemoko, urged drivers and transporters to ensure that they prioritize safety above speed. And this is partly what Mr. Nsmugo said.
What we want is for our drivers to go and deliver the product safely. We know that behind them, there are families that are waiting for them. And for us, for them to bring the product, even though we might want the product to come quicker, but we want them to prioritize their safety first so that we can bring the product into the country. We know that the roads that they travel in, there are so many pitfalls, there are so many hazards, and also communities that the product that they carry is flammable and is highly combustible, and therefore if it causes an accident, it can burn the whole area, which is why we have emphasized that they need to be safe so that they can protect themselves.
During the event, a region traffic officer for the Directorate of Road Traffic for the South, and this is Mr. Madaliso Gonzalo, also urged the transporters and the drivers to maintain, to at least manage fatigue, public awareness, and again, the risk assessment for the, during accidents. And this is what he said.
Fuel tanker drivers are not just ordinary drivers. They carry cargo that is hazardous and risky as well. So that demands a lot of professionalism, it demands a lot of responsibility, and it also requires a lot of things, unlike the ordinary drivers, because a single accident involving a tanker driver, involving a tanker that is loaded with fuel cargo, can have very significant consequences to the driver and also to the community.
So George, what else transpired during the commemorations?
Well, during the event, Petroleum Importers Limited also celebrated that during the 2025 season, they recorded 0 accidents, which is a great milestone in as far as the transportation of fuel is concerned here in Malawi.
That's very good news. Thank you so much. I'm sure the drivers will actually take care and put safety first. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So that is George Banda, our reporter here at Embassy. And now moving on to sports, a member of parliament for Cholo Central, Ben Piri, has launched a 20 million kwacha football and netball cup aimed at promoting sports development and empowering young people in the area. We have a report by Nkhani Chisomola.
Hundreds of people gathered at Adolata Ground in Cholo District, where the official launch of Dr. Ben Piri football and netball tournament took place. Piri, who is also the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, says the competition is designed to provide young people with meaningful engagement, helping to shape responsible citizens while reducing involvement in crime and other harmful activities. The minister has also urged sports administrators and local leaders to adhere to established rules and governance standards to ensure the smooth and professional management of the tournament.
Aware that the president, through the CDF, has put aside 50 million budget each constituency to develop sports, and one of which is football. So what we're trying to do is to see the preparedness of our teams in the constituency as we get ready for the 50 million sports initiative. A couple of things. We don't want football politics. Football must be administered properly. Therefore, the issues of politicking within are not allowed. Number 2 is we must deploy discipline at all levels to make sure that issues of violence are not tolerated at all. And finally, fairness has got to be there to make sure that those winners really get enough money than leaving a lot of money to the administration.
District Commissioner Noel Dakamau has commended the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention that will help nurture disciplined and responsible youth.
This is a significant way of doing the sports activity. As you are aware that
CDF will put aside a substantial amount of money which is promoting sports. As the Cholo District Council, currently we don't have a district team. So this is the benchmark, this is the starting point. Our vision is to have a district team. So we'll try to implement it at constituency level. So whatsoever is happening today will be a lesson for us to have a team for the district council. More than that, you have noted that a number of women are here selling their merchandise. It means that they will be able to sell quickly and easily because most of the people are here to watch football and they'll be able to buy the commodities which are being sold in the market. In that way, increasing the livelihood and the economy of Cholo District Council and the Malawi as large.
In the competition, Cholo Select emerged as winners in both football and netball, with Luchenza Select finishing as runners-up. Mpinji Day Secondary School secured first position among participating school teams. Yohane Chizomola, MBC News, Cholo.
Still in sports, the Malawi Under-23 Queens Cups are back in action this afternoon in the Telkom Netball League as they take on Sunbirds. Malawi has played 4 games, registering 3 wins, the latest a 47-34 victory against Sonoblomo yesterday. And well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A recap of our top stories before we leave. The new Patamanga Bailey Bridge in Neno opens. Malawi banks on the surge of certified local products for international trade confidence. And tobacco authorities continue engaging buyers to address concerns of high rejection rate of the green gold. For more updates, visit Embassy Digital on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You've been with me, Abale Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
Last year, I teamed up with the European Union to visit Mulanje and see the impact of its partnership on local businesses. I learned that a small spark can ignite lasting change. A loan from the village bank became a bakery that changed lives. A transformed community soaring high.
Boma la Malawi pofuna kuti mphamvu ya magetsi makamaka kuwala kwa magetsi kufikire madera ambiri mdziko muno linayambitsa ntchito yomwe imatchedwa kuti Malawi Electricity Access Project kapena kuti MEAP.
Ntchitoyi imathandizidwa ndi banki ya pa dziko lonse la World Bank ndipo imagwiridwa pansi pa unduna za mphamvu ndi migodi ndizo kampani ya Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM.
Malingana ndi mkulu wa project ya Malawi Electricity Access Project MEAP, Mai Luce Chimombo, akuti kafukufuku anasonyeza kuti kuwala nthawi ya usiku pamene dzuwa labira kumathandizira kukweza dera kamba kakuti ntchito zosiyanasiyana ngati zamalonda, zaumoyo, zachitetezo, wazamaphunziro kungotchulapo zochepa zokha zimakhala zikupitirira kuchitika.
Cholinga cha meyapo nkunena kuti mdziko muno anthu akhale ndi magetsi. Magetsi kaya ndi aku Eskom kapena magetsi adzuwa. Ndiye ife ya ku ministry kuno timapanga implement magetsi adzuwa. Pamene aku Eskom apanga implement magetsi a Eskom awo agreed. A ministry chimene timapanga ifeyo ndiona kuti titapeza ndalama zija tinapanga ubale ndi makampani amene amagulitsa kale ma solar home systems ngati business yawo.
Ndipo amayi ambiri pansi pa ntchito zimenezi anali otanganidwa kwambiri kugwira ntchito zosiyanasiyana zomwe zathandiza kukweza mabanja awo komanso makomo awo mu njira zosiyanasiyana.
Monga project tinanyanga leno ndi analipasa ndalama nda banki amafunitsitsa kuti amayi azikhala patsogolo. Ifenso boma athu tifunanso ndi amayi sataniso akhale patsogolo. Ndi chimene chinachitika tinali ndi target yona kuti tafikire 30% ya anthu amene agule ma system wa anthu amene ndi 200,000 aja 30% akhale uli ndi azimayi. Koma tapezeka kuti tafikiranso mozolera miyezo tafikira azimayi okwana 46%.
Iwo akuti pa ndalama zonse zokwana $100 million, ndalama zokwana $20 million zinapita ku ntchito imeneyi yobweretsa magetsi ogwiritsa ntchito mphamvu ya dzuwa otchedwa solar ku nyumba za anthu m'madera osiyanasiyana.